Chiefs Kingdom, welcome into the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. The trade deadline is approaching fast, and I'm Jay Sanders here to help you out and show you what I think the Chiefs could do, and what along with the Chiefs can do with their limited cap space. We're going to talk about it with the trade needs, the trade targets, what's going on all around the Chiefs Report here. We're going to give you everything you want on this trade deadline, all coming up on today's show. But I have a challenge for all of Chiefs Kingdom because I know that y'all have my back. But with the Chiefs' 5-1 record, I want to see how many Chiefs Kingdom members we can add to the Chiefs Report. I want to try and get 51 new subs for this Chiefs 5-1 record. Hit that sub button. It turns from red to gray. It makes me happy. And guess what? It will complete our challenge. Let's get 51 subs for the Chiefs 5-1 record. I really appreciate it if you could hit that sub button. We're putting out Chiefs content all season long. Okay, let's get into the trade targets, trade rumors. But before we do anything, let's talk about Brett Veach and whether or not he is even ready to make the trade. So, as you probably know, Brett Veach is usually quiet around the trade deadline. Last year, Kansas City actually made a decent splash. They acquired Kadarius Toney, and funny enough, that was the most draft capital that Brett Veach had ever given up in the trade deadline. Now, with the Chiefs wide receiver situation, will Brett Veach make another move? Well, we're going to have to find out today because, man, it's kind of tough. We're going to find out today, but I think that last question, well, that's the one I want to ask to all of Chiefs Kingdom. Will Brett Veach make another splash this year? Type T if you think trade, he's going to make one, or type S if you think that he will sit quiet and nothing will happen. Type T for trade, type S for sit quiet. Let's go into the positional needs for the Chiefs, with the first one being the obvious wide receiver. Now, it's really a no-brainer why this is number one. The Chiefs wide receiver room, although it has depth, does not have a clear number one. It does not even have a clear number two, to be quite honest with you. And this has been the talk of the season since the first game when Kadarius Toney had that abysmal two-drop game that ultimately lost the game, which is, by the way, the only loss the Chiefs have. If we talk about it, let's say this. Kadarius Toney slaps down two balls in game one. The Chiefs are 6-0 right now. Things happen, but golly, it's a no-brainer why this is number one. So let's start looking. We've talked about a lot. Let's look at 4 trade targets that I think the Chiefs could actually make a move for. 2 of these we've talked about on the show a lot. 2 of them we're bringing up once again. Marquise Brown, he's going to be coming in as a top priority guy. Speed, agility, I like what he brings to the table. You got Darnell Mooney with the Bears. They're not having a good season. Could be an opportunity for trade for him. He's a wide receiver 2 there, but has wide receiver 1 potential in the future. He's also a young guy. I like what I've seen from him. Has good hands, but does have a little bit of drop problems, which is kind of similar to Rashee Rice. Mecole Hardman could have a return for him, make a little reunion out of that. And then Kendrick Bourne, which he's a new one we have not talked about here. We're going to mention him as a potential wide receiver trade target. Considering the Patriots, well, they're not that good this year. Now, none of these are going to be a fix. I will say that right off the bat. None of those guys are immediately going to come in and be the fix that you want for this Chiefs squad. But I will say it is going to help if you get any single one of these guys. Because guess what? Kendrick Bourne, he's a solid wide receiver 3, maybe wide receiver 2 on the Chiefs staff. You have Mecole Hardman, who has been a proven success with the Chiefs. Darnell Mooney and Marquise Brown, I think, potentially could be wide receiver 1 wide receiver 1 potential here on the Chiefs. Again, not a fix, but it would definitely help for sure. I want to give the option out to you, though. Who do you think of these 4 would be the best fit for this Chiefs roster? I want you to let me know in the comment section of today's video by typing MB if you think Marquise Brown is the best, typing DM if you think Darnell Mooney is the best option, or typing MH for Mecole Hardman. Or if you think Kendrick Bourne would be the best one and probably the most likely one, well, let me know. Type KB in the comment section below if you think it's Kendrick Bourne. We're going to make this the pinned comment of today's video. All good options here, but if you want to ask my opinion, well, I'm going to say Darnell Mooney. Now, the reason I say him is, well, because I think overall he has the fit to be a wide receiver 1, but he just hasn't had the ability to with Matt Eberflus as a coach, Luke Getsy as an offensive coordinator. Yeah, no freaking way he's going to be playing well. You come in here, you put him in Reed's system, you get him with Matt Nagy, who, guess what? he's had some interest with. Guess where Matt Nagy came from? Well, there you go. I think he could fit in really, really well. That would be my option. But I think all of those would be really nice to get if Brett Veach decides to make a move. Let's go to the second positional need for the Kansas City Chiefs, and that is running back. Now, I know what you're thinking. What are you talking about? Well, what I'm talking about is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports app you need because guess what? It's the easiest way to play DFS. All you have to do is pick 2 to 6 players, and if they will go more or less than their Prize Picks projection. Plus, you can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. I've been playing Prize Picks recently, and I have no idea why I waited so long. Now, players can choose from a vast selection of sports and stat types not offered anywhere else, including in-game projections after a game has started, including halves, quarters, periods, and more. And the Chiefs now, they're playing the Chargers this week. I think it's going to be an offensive onslaught, so I'm going more across the dang board. Patrick Mahomes, he's in for a 300-yard game. Give me a more on the 295.5. Pacheco, oh yeah, running game's going to get going as well. He's getting for 70. Take me on the more on that one. And then as always, I say it every time, my third one is where I put my money where my mouth is because Travis Kelce had an amazing game against the Denver Broncos, which means he's going to be double covered, which means he's going to be bracketed, which means everybody's going to have his focus on him, but it does not matter. Kelce's going for 80. I'm going for the more on 77.5. I like that. You should like it too. Or if you want to fade me and you think, nah, no way that's not happening, you can go into Prize Picks and get less. It's super simple. You pick 2 players, you pick more or less, and then you submit your entries. It's an amazing, amazing app. It's super simple. And if you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100, that's a free $100. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay. It's an enormous selection of players and stat types. That's exactly why Prize Picks is the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. Shout out to Prize Picks. They are daily fantasy sports made easy. Okay, running back. I know what you're thinking. There's a clear drop-off in needs here because we don't really need a running back. We don't. Looking at this depth chart, well, guess what? You got Pop as #1. You got McKinnon as #2. And then you got CH, which, again, he's been a topic of conversation all year long. What the heck is he going to do? Are the Chiefs going to trade him? Are the Chiefs going to keep him? But the first question is, whoa. We have Pop. Why do we need a running back? Well, yeah, you're right. We're correct. But, it would be nice having a good backup. Or maybe a guy that you can double team with Pacheco so that you can kind of take back on his carries, have a 2 running back system. Because the goal is to have Pacheco for a long period of time. But if you're trying to go for a Super Bowl, which I know the Chiefs are, well, then guess what? Maybe it would be a bad idea to try and go out and get somebody to help with depth, to help keep Pacheco healthy, not just this year, but in the long term as well. Now, I've put together 3 options that the Chiefs could trade for. That would be a good either 1-2 punch. You could fill out that, trade Clyde Edwards-Helaire to this team, whatever you want. There's 3 options here, and one stands out among the rest, and you know which one it is. So we're going to go through all 3 of them here, and then the obvious one. Chuba Hubbard is the Panthers. Well, I don't know if that's going to happen. We've talked about him in a previous video. He'd be a backup option at best, I think, probably fill the role of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which in that case, he'd probably get some carries. Dalvin Cook from the Jets. Yeah, that might work. Been a guy who hasn't performed well, but the Jets are looking to trade a lot of people. Why not Dalvin Cook? Or Keyshawn Vaughn from the Buccaneers. Young guy. Seems like he got some pop, got some talent. So he actually kind of reminds me of Pacheco in some ways. So I wouldn't mind to have him as well. But 3 easy options, 3 cheap options. But here's the thing, and I get all excited about it, and I'm happy, and I want to talk trades with you. But the problem is with Veach, his history, and the way he goes about trades, I wouldn't expect much. It just doesn't seem like it's his type to go out and make a move, especially when the Chiefs are 6-1. Which leads me to this question. Say Veach doesn't make a move. Are the Chiefs ready to play for the postseason? Ready to play for a Super Bowl with this current roster they have? Well, then I want you to let me know. Type Y for yes if you think, yes, they are ready. They can do it. It's not that big a deal. Rashee Rice is going to form into wide receiver 1. You got Justin Ross, who's just waiting in the wings. You have Marquise Valdez-Scantling. You got Kadarius Toney. You have all these guys, these pieces that are going to work, but they're just not there yet. Well, if you think that, then type Y for yes. If you think, no way, we got to get somebody, then type in for no in the comment section below. Let me know. It's going to be in today's comments. It's going to be in today's description. I want to know what Chiefs Kingdom is thinking about the roster of the Kansas City Chiefs at this current moment. Let's go into the third positional need here, and that is offensive line. Now, again, the need drop-off here is, again, why? Because from wide receiver to running back and offensive line, it's very, very much I need a wide receiver. Running back and offensive line will be nice. Now, if you look at the depth chart for the offensive line, as we showed you with the running backs, they're pretty good. They've actually been one of the best defensive lines in the entire NFL. Donovan Smith, Joe Tootie, Crean Humphrey, Trey Smith, and Jawan Taylor. Now, I know he's been good at blocking, but dude cannot get away from penalties. Now, there's a couple options on the O-line. One of them is a trade. One of them is a signing. You could get Garret Bolles from the Broncos, who, again, an inter-division trade doesn't exactly seem like that's likely to happen, but it could. Or you could sign La'el Collins, a free agent, played with the Bengals most recently, on the Cowboys as well. He would fit in well with this team. I think you could pop him in as a tackle. Maybe give Jawan Taylor some time off because dude is great at blocking, but gosh dang, if he could stop getting penalties, that would be nice. But, I mean, it's going to be a tough situation. We'll see if Brett Veach even makes a move. I think O-line would probably be the one that would be the last one he'd think about because of how good they have been. Again, just adding depth, adding a little situation for Jawan Taylor to not have to get those many penalties. We appreciate you watching today's video. At the top of the show, I mentioned that we're to have a challenge for Chiefs Kingdom, and I want to hit that again. Make sure you're subscribed to the Chiefs Report. We want to try and get 51 subs for the Chiefs' 5-1 record. If you're a member of Chiefs Kingdom, well, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button. We're putting out Chiefs content every single day on anything and everything Kansas City Chiefs. We appreciate you watching, and as always, we will see you in another video. Peace out.